Hi guys out there on YouTube. Thought I'd give you another blast from the past looking at some old school models. These are going to be orcs and goblins and ogres. Um, this grouping that I've put together here, I've added a couple of figures in the center there to give you an idea of scale over the years. Most of the painted models you're going to see there are old school sculpts. And the orc that you see in the center is the one that was given away free in the issue of White Dwarf that offered two free plastic miniatures from the Black Reach as kind of a promotional thing. So you can see there's a dramatic difference in scale between those type of orcs and the orcs of old. Now, the old role-playing games, you didn't go through too many adventures before you were set upon by a raiding party of orcs or goblins. So they were a mainstay of fantasy role-playing a long time ago. And these are probably some of the oldest miniatures that I own. I was able to do some research and find out the companies and the sculpts on some of the miniatures, but not all of them. A lot of them I had filed down the bases of any information in order to get the models to sit flat. So anyway, I will try and give you a little bit of a closer look at some of these models. I'll use the flip macro magnifying glass here to get in and say these and these were a series of 7 Grenadier models, either orcs or goblins. I, of course, don't have the blister packs anymore, so I don't know what they called them. I think they probably were orcs. These were a couple of boar riders, which I think you can see from the scale would be considerably smaller than the boar riders that they have today. Here are a couple of goblins on wolves, and you can see the scale to a more recent and unpainted wolf that I have, which also had some goblin riders associated with it, but he's a pretty well fed and nice looking wolf. I think I'm going to turn him into a Fenris wolf for the space wolves. Over here, a group of archers that I really couldn't track down where these were. I really didn't see any similar sculpts in my old White Dwarfs or catalogs. So let's slip up to the super macro, which is a little more intense magnifying glass. Excuse me while I shake around here. And I'll pull up some of these minis so that you can look at them a little bit closer. Here is each one of the sculpts out of these 7 Grenadier sculpts had a different weapon and a different pose, which I know in today's ranking of armies there's a lot of duplication, which really kind of feeds the the guys that go out and do all of the modifications on the miniatures. But again, I'm not showing you these for the paint because these were probably painted with tester's paint, and at the time my whole palette probably consisted of the 6 primary colors. So, but they're not bad sculpts. To me, the orcs in these really look a bit more like the orcs from the animated Rankin and Bass Hobbit. And I think that movies, science fiction movies, and books that have animation in them do influence what models look like, especially the Lord of the Rings stuff, which is really very strongly based on the recent books, recent movies directed by Peter Jackson. But these definitely have a different looking sculpt than the orcs, the fantasy or the 40K orcs of today. And as you can see, each one, if you look real close, I don't even think I painted the chainmail on these because that was metal and these were the lead miniatures. So I painted the things that were non-metal and kind of left those to be metal. I guess some folks would say that's lazy. Still were fun to put down on the table for role-playing. Now these wolf riders, tried to put a little detail on the wolf. Kind of like sharp sticks. Maybe they're supposed to be small spears that they're throwing. Has a handful of them. And these archers, I'm not going to show you all three of them because all three poses are the same in this one. So if anybody knows what those are from, and yes, my my obsession to detail, you can see that I actually put strings on the bows using dental floss. Okay, maybe a little over the top. Here are the boar riders, even for as old as these are. Fully helmed, so I guess they could be orcs or dwarves. But they, if I recall right, they were in the blister and based on the weapon. And I do keep my riders loose so they can be taken off so that I can use the animals separately.